Good afternoon and welcome to the Spring 2024 Student Senate Town Hall. My name is Arnold Montiel and I'm the chair for the 2023-2024 Student Senate. On behalf of all the Senate, we greatly appreciate you taking the time to join us this afternoon virtually or in person here at the Northwest Campus. This event is being live streamed on the Pima Student Engagement YouTube page, and the link to the recording will be posted on the Pima Engage following this event and is currently accessible through the event page for today.
Before we begin our program today, we would like to begin with a land acknowledgement. Pima Community College is on the original homelands of the Tohono O'odham people and the Pasquayaki, who have stewarded this land since time immemorial. The practice of acknowledging the land and of these sovereign nations brings to the forefront their enduring connection to this land, regardless of historical and current colonization practices. Let's acknowledge that we all benefit from these lands on which we work and learn. I encourage each participant today to learn about the land we inhabit, the tribal communities connected to this land, and the ways in which you can contribute to restorative practices related to the land and our community.
Student Senate is responsible for creating a bridge between the student body and the college administration. Events such as this allows us to do just that. Student Senate hosts a town hall a minimum of once a semester. Our goal is to create and maintain open lines of communication between students and leadership. In honor of this goal, I would like to invite PCC's Vice President of Student Affairs, Dr. Suzanne Desjardins, to the front for a welcome address on behalf of all PCC's leadership that are here with us today.
Can you hear me now? Welcome, everyone. I have the honor and privilege to welcome you to today's town hall. Before we get started, I would like to acknowledge the extremely hard work of your student senators. Can we give a round of applause to them, please? I would also be remiss if I did not acknowledge our strong student life coordinator team, and in particular, Ms. Julia Mahalik, who is the student life coordinator for this campus. And she serves as our lead advisor for the Student Senate. So there's a lot of behind the work scenes a lot of work behind the scenes that go on to host these events. We are thrilled to be part of the leadership that happens at all levels, including our senators. On behalf of the administration, we are very thrilled to be here and to hear from all of you, hear the questions that have been sent forward, and we are open and committed to responding to all the questions that come in live as well. So thank you so much for being here, and I would like to turn it back over to Aster. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that welcome, Dr. Suzanne Desjardins, and for joining us this afternoon. We would like to begin the program today with introductions to the Student Senate cohort.
My name is Arnold Montiel. My pronouns are he, him, él. I am currently studying social services. I plan to graduate in 2 years, 2 semesters. I just received my GED through Adult Basic Education, and I am the Adult Basic Education and so I just finished. So I'm now studying at Pima Community College downtown campus, and thank you for coming.
My name is Cesar Peña. My pronouns is he, him, él, and I am currently studying Electrical Applied Science and Associates. This will be my last year here because I'm going to be transferring to NAU to study engineering. And my current position is Desert Vista. And that's it, right? Oh, and all college council.
Hello. My name is Aster. My pronouns are he, they, and I prefer a mixture of both. I'm currently studying liberal arts. That may be subject to change. The graphic design program looks really interesting at West Campus, so we'll see. But I currently hold the marketing officer position, so all of the flyers that you've seen, the program, made by yours truly. And I represent the downtown campus.
Hi, my name is Christy Snowden. My pronouns are she, her, and I am currently earning the credits needed to transfer to the NAU 90 to 30 program. My position is Senate Secretary, and I represent the downtown campus.
Hi everyone, my name is Randalls. I'm currently the Student Senate at the East Campus. I'm actually studying business administration. I'll be getting my associates this semester and I'll hopefully transfer to ASU or U of A to do business. Thank you.
Everyone, my name is Shreya Makam. My pronouns are she, her. I am currently studying Associates of Science in Biology, and I plan on to transfer end of this semester and in fall to take biology as my major and then to kind of focus on my pathway to dental school one day. And I am currently holding the position of Student Senate at the Northwest Campus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Athena T.T. Martinez, as some of you know. My pronouns are she, her, ea. I am currently in applied science of electrical, graduating this year. Of co-chair, and I represent the online campuses.
Hello, everyone. My name is Will Romanenko. I am currently studying business administration, and I plan to graduate in 2025. I currently hold the parliamentarian position and a member of the All College Council, and I represent the online campus.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Ersil. I'm a student at the West Campus, and I represent the West Campus. My program of study is liberal arts towards communication. I'm planning to transfer in the fall to the University of Arizona, and I'm planning to do international relations. Thank you all for coming.
Hi, my name is Marquise Vaughn. I am the West Campus Student Senator. I'm studying business, and I do graduate this May. And I am the project lead.
So we will now begin our first section of the program, the audience Q&A, with our in-person attendees. We have a microphone in the back where you can pose questions or make a comment. In order to ensure that we're able to get to each person who wants to make a comment or pose a question, we'll be timing the section. As the parliamentarian, I will be assisting in the timing of the remaining questions or comments and our responses. Each person will have 2 minutes to pose their question or make a comment, and we will spend a maximum of 5 minutes answering the questions. I will give a 30-second warning for questions, comments, and answers. Student Senate will try our best to answer questions that are posed. We are thankful to have PCC leadership here today to assist with expert knowledge on topics that may arise.
Good afternoon. Is this live? Can you hear me? Yeah. Thank you all so much for coming today. And maybe you don't know me by face, but some of you will know from my writing about the subject that I'm coming today. And interestingly, as I was leaving the West Campus, there was a faculty member pushing his bicycle in, and clearly he seemed like he was upset, and I was concerned that maybe he had had an altercation at that time riding to school. So I walked out of the building and then thought twice, and I thought, well, maybe I should go talk with him and see what happened. And when I did speak with him, he said he was just kind of making a joke about the situation, but that he had not had an altercation today, but about once a month he does have an altercation on the way to school, which is also reminiscent of a former professor at Pima, Carlos Bonell, who actually was hit on his bicycle some time ago and then fell into a coma and later died. There's now a gallery to his name on the West Campus. And he's a legendary photographer, one of the maybe first Chicano to be represented in the vernacular of photography and today in literary arts. So he's very important. That said, it's recurring that I hear stories of people having difficulties in the parking lot. There was one girl in my class who had been a vet in the Air Force, and she was clearly disturbed when she arrived into class. And when I asked her what happened, she was very flustered from having walked through the parking lot. And so this really got me to think, if we have somebody who's trained to be of service for our country in times of war, to work in an airfield, who I would assume has the sort of training of understanding safety protocols, to have somebody like that showing up into class and being disturbed, I think that we can really recognize we have an issue both in the campus and then driving around the campus. You'll notice, although not all of the graves are marked, that there are a number of deaths that have happened. And I think that this is all pointing to overlying issue from what I've heard, and I may be wrong, but the intention of the building when it was made, the West Campus, was not specific to its use currently. And because of that, the infrastructure around it is not according to the common practice of pedestrian safety. So I think that this is an issue that I've written a number of times to the Student Senate, and they've been wonderful. I've spoken extensively with Rebecca, and she's been wonderful. And I think we have a real point of collaboration between the Student Senate, the body of Pima Community College, the local ward office, and the city here to really look at the situation and to come up with some sort of response that could meet the needs of safety so that we can act preventatively to save the life of the next victim in that area. And I'll finish with one final thing. At the end of last semester or early in this semester, as I was driving to school, arriving up Anklam, which does not have a sidewalk, were two blind people, each with their white canes, and they had come to the end of what is the median, and they were entering into the West Campus. And at that point, they had both arrived to the stones that are there, that are maybe 8 or 12-inch stones with no improvements, and they were trying to decide how they would deal with the situation. And at that point, I realized just the level of danger that they were in, and I think that that speaks in and of itself to the necessity, the quick action that we need to take so that we can, especially in the case of disabled in our community or disadvantaged in our community, that we can act to protect them before an accident does happen.
Testing, testing. Good afternoon, everyone. For those of you who I don't know, my name is Aubrey Conover, and I am the CVP for our West Campus. So we've had a lot of conversations about this to see what we can do and how we can be an advocate for things that we're not in control of. So we've taken a couple immediate steps. One of the things that we were able to identify is bikes coming off of Anklam. Our streets, while they were very wide coming into the campus, didn't have any markings. So cars would kind of come in wherever they wanted to, and if anyone was biking, they kind of do it in the same thing. So as of last week, we've had those marked for the bike lanes so that at least we can take that action and provide some sense of security as people are pulling in. The next step we're going to look at is, as you make that corner, cars are usually good about giving bikes enough space, but we're going to try and look at some kind of barrier that really forces them to stay in their lane to do that kind of piece. The biggest challenge, which you identified, are the two city streets that, as you unfortunately mentioned, it's not just one. I think there's 3 or 4 remembrance places where people have either been seriously injured or lost their lives. The streets are not great. They're fairly old. They were not set up in today's standards with really big bike lanes or sidewalks or any of those things. We have started advocating to the city to put that on their radar as something that we think they could do some easy things, like cutting back the brush and such that pushes bikes in further into the street, and more long range looking at, is there a possibility to expand those streets? There isn't a lot on either side, so sometimes in the middle of town it's hard because you have homes. That's not the case, so it's really just a matter of money. Unfortunately, to widen a street, as you can all imagine, we're talking hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not more, especially how long Anklam and Greasewood are. But it doesn't mean that we can't continue to show the need. So those conversations are ongoing. Our administration has reached out to their planning board. They have indicated that it is in their list of priorities to look at, but they can't give us any sense if that means next year, 10 years from now. As we know, the city has a hard time just keeping potholes filled. So those are some of the things we're looking at there. Parking lots, I would be open to ideas for parking lots. I'm not sure if there's a safer or better way to get people from the back of a parking lot to the front. So yeah, if people have seen ways to integrate walking paths or other things that would be helpful, please let me know. The worst case scenario, we can at least look at them. If it's not feasible, we can let you know, but there might be something we can do. So either through Rebecca or feel free to come up to my office. I'm on the 2nd floor of A. I would be more than open to having some of those conversations.
Earlier this semester, Senate created a forum on Pima Engage for students to submit topics, questions, and comments around their experience at PCC. We will go through each question and provide comments or answers to them. As we mentioned earlier, our goal with today's event is to maintain open lines of communication between students and leadership. We have been fortunate to have leadership from all across the college here this afternoon to ensure we have the best person at the college to address the students' comments and questions.
Okay, these are statements to be shared. And number 1, find Pima Community College to be a very welcoming and supportive place, the inclusive atmosphere that Pima College offers, a place where anyone can reach their goals and make their dreams come true.
I feel like we're being thrown on the back burner, and the school would focus on less pressing issues than to deal with the major ones that have been set aside instead of making new problems. Deal with the other first before they just get lost in the pile of chaos.
Okay, so as far as questions to be answered, topic student ID. Madrid, the Dean of Students, and we have 3 topics on this list, or 3 questions on this topic rather. Since the school is in the process of issuing digital IDs, what provisions will be made for students who may not have access to smartphones or other digital devices required for using the digital IDs?
Okay, now? Okay. um, my outdoor teacher voice. Okay, is that better? All right. So thank you for the question, whoever submitted it. Students who do not have access to a smartphone or digital device will be able to request a photo ID, actual physical ID. That is going to be phase 2 of our implementation of the student IDs. Right now, we're really focused on getting the digital IDs out to students. So when we do have that option available, students will be able to request that and then meet with the campus personnel to get that ID issued. So we will have that option for students. But we're really trying to push the digital ID first, just because it's more convenient for students and they won't run the risk of leaving it behind the way maybe a physical card would be. To address the second question, how will feedback and suggestions from students regarding the digital ID system be collected and addressed over time to ensure continuous improvement and user satisfaction? So a web page dedicated to student IDs will be on the Pima website. So when we go live with digital IDs, there will be information there for students, including FAQs, and information about how to obtain an ID. And then there'll also be an area where students can provide comments, feedback, or get any questions answered regarding IDs. So we will have that ready and going live. Last question is what measures will be in place to ensure the security and privacy of students' personnel information stored on the digital IDs. As with all contracts, the college has standards and protocols in place to ensure that the data transmitted and stored within our digital ID systems is encrypted. So we employ the multi-factor authentication, which I'm sure a lot of you have seen when you log into your My Pima. So it'll be the same system that you'll go through when you access your digital ID. So this is to prevent unauthorized access and then just make sure that your digital identity is protected.
Is this better? Oh, that's much better.
It was turned off.
Oh, was it? Sorry, I was a little nervous. I just kept going. Thank you for getting my attention. Okay, where was I? So the increase in tuition for next year is expected to generate about $1 million of additional revenue for the college, which will be used to fund a portion of the anticipated $7 million change in personnel costs. The proposed budget for next year will include a recommendation to raise property taxes, anticipated revenue increases from sales, taxes, and investments, and a gradual reduction of positions through attrition to maintain a healthy operating balance. Thank you for your question, and I look forward to future discussions with the Student Senate. Thank you.
So, hello. So this next topic is about the online or the D2L platform. It's going to be addressed by Michael Amick, the VP for the Pima Online campus. So throughout the semester, there has been issues of students not seeing their courses in the D2L shell. What steps are Pima Community College taking to ensure that student courses are showing up in the D2L? Thank you.
Thank you so much for this question. So one thing I want to assure you is that the D2L environment is very healthy and stable. However, that doesn't matter if you as a student cannot see your course there. And so I want to apologize if that has happened to you as a student and the stress that can cause when you're feeling that urgency to get in there, understand what's happening, or do assignments. This issue is being caused by a connector piece of IT, so that when you as a student register for your course in our student record system, this connector piece of software IT is utilized to know where to place you as a student into which course. And I would characterize it as a almost completely plugged pipe, in that only a small amount is getting through at a time. And so what that causes is this backlog of plugged flow, and all those students are not getting into that course in a timely manner. This has been a long identified risk at the institution because it's been a homegrown piece of connecting software. And I want to thank our Chief Information Officer, Isaac Abbs, for taking on the work to find and utilize a known replacement. I also want to thank Tony Sovak and Chris Lucas that are here. They're part of the D2L LMS support team, and they have been as responsive as possible to this issue. And so two things to take away from this is that the IT department and our D2L support team have been working diligently to get in that replacement piece of software that is known. Other colleges are using it. We can purchase it and get it in there as soon as possible, so it's not this broken homegrown thing that we have going on. In fact, they just had a launching meeting yesterday to get this acquired and make sure that we can get it in. Until that time, we are still communicating with everyone we can, staff and student services across the college, that if anyone encounters a student that cannot see their course, they can submit what we call our IT ticket request, and that goes straight to our D2L team, and they respond to that immediately, vetting that registration in our student record system and then placing them in that course so that they can see it. That is the process that we have for addressing this right now. It is still ongoing. I do still see those students encountering that. And again, my apologies if that happens to you as a student. Everyone at the college is aware of that, including our faculty, so that if you need some sort of awareness, we can help you with that. And again, thank you to the team for getting those folks in there as fast as possible when those alerts come in. I hope that answers your question.
All right, so the next topic is question from the Northwest Campus, and this is addressed by Dr. Brian Schwartz, who is the VP for Northwest and Chief Cultural Impact Officer. So, students said during a Senate tabling event, it would be nice if Northwest had a coffee machine like downtown. What are the food and drink options at the Northwest campus?
Now, there we go. Okay. We are trying to get that up and going. So we've had some coffee carts come through. They don't make enough money, so they leave. So instead what we're doing is we're going to a vending machine option. We're working with the vendor who does Barnes & Noble, the ones you see at the other campuses. So we're working with them to bring an actual vending machine that will be open more often. So you can get those options here at Northwest. Hopefully by fall, that vending machine will be in. The other part that we're doing here at Northwest is there's a whole hidden servery area. We're opening that space up. We're going to be moving, on food services here at the campus. We have a food truck that comes out on Tuesday, Thursdays, and we have a gentleman who comes in and does services for us on Monday, Wednesdays. We're going to be able to move that to that area so we can spread out more. He can bring more stuff in, so we have a little better area provided for you for that. So those are 2 things we're planning for fall. Yep.
Thank you.
The next topic we have is for adult basic education, college and career. This is to be addressed by Ms. Lori Kirsten Joseph, Assistant VP, our Vice Chancellor, for adult basic education. Is she in here? She was outside. Yeah, if she's busy, yeah, please. No, she had another meeting. So the question is, why is it different to test at the downtown testing center for adult ed, TAPE testing, than it is to test at any of the 3 learning centers, which are El Rio, 29th Street Coalition, and El Pueblo?
Thank you. Good afternoon. Is it on? Okay. My name's Jackie Allen. I'm the Acting Dean of College Readiness and Student Success, and the testing and placement centers at each campus are underneath my division. So I work closely with Lori, and so I'm here instead for her today. And we were talking earlier today about the possible differences that students might experience as we work very closely together to ensure that the student experience is similar because of the policies and rules, regarding the TAPE testing. We thought that possibly the differences could be the downtown campus is, works with a larger population of students, so their hours of operation are different. And the students at downtown campus are pursuing a program or a certificate or a degree as well as earning a high school equivalency, and that might also be a difference between those and the learning centers. So hopefully we've answered your question, but if not, please reach out to the senators and they can share more information with us. Thank you.
Our next topic is on security and safety issues, and that'll be addressed by our Chief of Police. And it was submitted to us that students would like the topic of safety and security issues at PCC addressed.
Okay, thank you for having me. Since there wasn't a specific question, I'm going to focus my response to physical personal safety, your property safety, and then frankly your digital, which always equals finances, right? Your financial digital safety. So your physical safety, my staff really focuses on having a presence on the campuses that are very welcome to you so that you can pursue your educational goals, so that the employees can pursue their employment in supporting the students' needs. while being a deterrent for those folks who aren't directly tied to the institution and don't have good intentions for being on the campus. And maybe that is to steal something from the bookstore or steal one of your backpacks or something. And so we want to look warm and friendly and welcoming to the people who work and go to school here, while being a physical deterrent for those people who want to come onto the campus. Now, at the same time, we balance that with the humanitarian aspect of people need access to a restroom. People might need access to library materials, right? So we want to balance that community piece of what Pima College is and to this broader community, but without that having a negative impact on somebody's work experience, learning experience, or the whole educational environment. So at some campuses, we're a little more aggressive at keeping that element further away from the campus. But most of our campuses have kind of a desert area to them other than downtown, and there's a large unhoused population in Pima County right now. And so we know that our campuses have some of that unhoused element. Maybe some of those folks have addiction issues. They may be struggling with mental illness. So we want to balance trying to give them services they're trying to access without it disrupting the institution. And so at downtown, we've got parks and areas that impact that campus. We also have a fentanyl issue in Pima County that impacts some of the campuses greater than others. So we're also trying to make sure those folks that have fentanyl addiction, that we're hopefully intervening before they have a very negative experience, possibly an overdose, and supporting them as well. So you can help yourself out with situational awareness. Just be aware if something doesn't look right, doesn't sound right, that you're calling us and letting us know as soon as possible so that we can intervene in that situation. You also know that we've got, so far, free bus transportation. In several of our campuses are endpoints for those bus routes, East Campus, Desert Vista, and West Campus. Everybody has to get off the bus at those locations. Sometimes that creates unwanted individuals who might be in crisis or something. And so if you see or hear something, again, that doesn't look normal, doesn't look safe, please call us. There's also blue phones on campuses, fairly adjacent to a lot of those bus stops that you can get a hold of us immediately. Your property safety. Don't leave things in your car that are visible. Lock your car. Don't leave things outside of a restroom stall or hanging out in the library while you go get a snack at Brian's lovely coffee machine and snack food that's coming. Don't take it with you, or have somebody trusted that you can have watch it for you. Drop it in student life or something, but don't leave things laying around. We've got people that kind of troll the campuses, and they're just looking for that opportunity to take whatever you've left behind. The other thing I want to focus on is your digital safety. I get students who, when you guys get sort of those scam emails, it looks like it came from a college employee that's trying to offer you a job, but they want money from you first. If you're not sure if that's a legitimate internship opportunity, call our dispatch. We will track down the department within the college to verify whether that's a legitimate offer or not. I also forward those to our IT security people so that they can backtrack on their end and shut that down as soon as possible. But that has become a significant phishing scam among the student email addresses. And I'm not an IT nerd, so I don't know how to tell you we're fighting that and battling that, but there have been an increase in that where students are getting emails and they're soliciting you, and it appears it comes from a legitimate Pima College email. It does not. And I will tell you, if some offer sounds too good to be true, it usually is, right? You should never have to pay something to get a job opportunity. If we're advertising it as that, and if somebody is saying, yeah, you're gonna have to pay a processing fee, make sure you meet with that person and you transact that in person and determine that that is a legitimate Pima College employee or a legitimate employer before you begin to hand over any of that money. And I know it's convenient to Zelle and Venmo and all that good stuff, but they utilize that ease of transacting to actually manipulate you and defraud you of your money. So just be very careful when you're, digitally on your devices or on the internet. And as great as our IT security people are, there are some savvy folks out there that, they can spoof what looks like a Pima email and offer students a great opportunity that is always a little too good to be true. Does anybody have anything else specific they want to ask about safety and security?
One of the concerns that we have today in the modern world is a very sad situation of violence in academic settings. And like in my dance class, the teacher is very kind of aware of this and made sure that we knew where the egresses were. And I find it we generally don't have a conversation about this. And I recently was taking a recertification for my EMT and was watching a module on responding, and some of the ideas that they had were really great, which was just like bleed protection, or like students who would know how to stop bleeds, and also like understanding where the trauma centers are so that students would know in the event of an emergency, where do you go? Because so much of the time it's not waiting for the ambulance, but somebody's just going. Like if somebody is shot, then how do you deal with this? And this is a kind of a story that I haven't seen any sort of literature, any sort of conversation going, but is something that I'm curious about and how we might kind of talk about that.
Yeah, so something that gets shared, at least on the employee side of the house within Pima, is the response to active threat training that the college is now going on its third summer of providing at a college location. Brian's campus hosted the very first one. Jade's campus hosted it for a week at East Campus last summer, and this summer it will be Edgar Soto's campus, Desert Vista. So for a week, employees and frankly adult students can sign up, and it's on like Everbridge, so 40 slots a day, Monday through Friday, and you go through an 8-hour training. And the first part of it is 2 to 3 hours of classroom where they talk about the run, hide, fight concepts. And then you get a stop the bleed and some acute first aid training. And then the afternoon are 3 live scenarios that you go through. And you go through in like a little cohort of 3 or 4 people. We have also started, Edgar had the emergency manager, Bruce Westberg, come into his STU class and give a 1-hour presentation on the Run, Hide, Fight. It's PowerPoint. It's an excellent presentation. I've seen it given at the Aviation Center to the staff. We would love to see an avenue of getting that to the students. And maybe that STU class is a way for us to get that kind of training into in front of the student audience, so that they feel like they're empowered to take action for themselves, that you're not looking for somebody to give you direction. Our staff will be coordinating that with the Pima County Sheriff's Department over the summer. And the last day is kind of an advanced class where there, I think, are additional scenarios, and then what you'll see is a dynamic deployment of law enforcement at the very end of response to an active threat.
Now, you say this is a week-long course. Do people need to be signing up for every day of that week, or just one day a week, and that's the entire self-contained course?
Thank you. Yeah, every time we do the flyer, I try to how do we word it so that people understand it's an 8-hour training. It's on Monday, 40 people go through it. Tuesday, a whole new 40 people come in and they repeat the exact curriculum. So 40 times 5, or what is that? 200 people? Opportunities. And Pima County does it at 3 other locations over the summer too, but those are K through 12. Want to do at the college is make sure that our role players and our scenarios fit the environment where we go to class and where we work. And so we're trying to get away from the K through 12 environment where the actions are much more directed by officials of that school. Here, largely our student population are adults. They may get direction from a college employee, but really they can make up their own mind of how they want to respond to that incident. So we want to make sure that that training is consistent with a very open access college environment. So yeah, it's every day for 8 hours. Once you take the 8 hours, you're done. Anyone else?
On Pima Engage, we have a flyer posted that our emergency services manager, Bruce Westberg, put together to call for student volunteers who want to participate in this scenario as actors. So if anyone is interested, it was also posted in D2L. Thank you, Jessica, if she's here. So that if any students don't want to do the full day training but would like to be on the other side of it, they can have that experience. Thanks.
And we are working with the journalism club who is responsible for the online publication, Pima News, I think it's called. It's not Pima News, but it's Pima Press. I forget what it is. I always know it as the Aztec Press, but it's been renamed. And we're going to start giving him either digital content or stories that can be posted online. And one of the first ones is going to be a little short video talking about that training and the opportunity for students to be role players during that week. It's the last week of June. And we'll just make sure we do get that out and posted with the online publication so that there's just one more venue for that information to get out there. Because the Sheriff's Department does provide role players if we can't come up with age-appropriate ones, but you've got like 12 and 14-year-old adolescents trying to role play, and it would just be better if we actually had our own adult role players. It would make it that much more realistic for everybody involved.
Thank you so much. Our next topic will be on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And this will be addressed by Dr. Brian Stewart, the VP for Northwest Campus and Chief Cultural Impact Officer. So the question is, what is going on with Pride events during school?
Thank you. So we partner with Student Life on Pride events for students twice a year. The big one is the end of September, beginning of October timeframe, because that's when Tucson holds Pride. Pride month is June, but it's really hot here, so we don't do a lot of Pride stuff, and students is not as many a population, so it's a smaller group. We do a lot of promotion of activities in Tucson in June, but our big events that we host with Student Life are usually in that October and September timeframe, and we do part of the parade, we go out to Pride, we do all of those things, we have the other activities that move around to campuses. And then this month, actually, the beginning of next month, April 1st this year. So we do International Transgender Awareness Day, which this month is falling on the end of March 31st. There's activities in Tucson which we promote. We are doing our activity on April 1st. At East Campus, there is an amazing muralist who made a wonderful mural for transgender here, and they will be over there doing a talk about the mural and what they do and how it speaks to the transgender needs in our community. So you'll be able to participate in that as well. There is also, you can have a Pride Club, LGBTQ club. Those work through Student Life, and we can help support those activities. They're really club driven. One of the big things that we are working on this next year as part of our human resources side of the house in the college, along with our DEI office, is trying to get what we call affinity groups for employees. Affinity groups are basically similar to student clubs for different groups. But what they can do is they can work with a club, because clubs have rotations of students as you graduate, right? So the affinity group can continue and then help support bringing that activity onto the club, have that history there and presence. So we're going to start that up as well, and that should add another level of support for those areas. Thank you.
All right, our next topic is clarification between virtual and online classes. And this will be addressed by Michael, our Vice President for Pima Online. The question is, can the college clarify the difference between virtual and online, and what administration students should try to go to if they have an issue or concern in one class or the other, both technically and academically?
Thank you very much again. So the first part, what is the difference between an online and a virtual class? Pima Community College has specific definitions for what the more technical terminology for these courses are is asynchronous or synchronous online offerings. And so an online course is asynchronous in that there is no specific required time that a student has to do anything online. They may have a deadline for assignments that are due that week, but they can be completed and submitted at any time up to that deadline. A virtual offering or synchronous means that although it is going to take place in the online digital environment, it has required meeting times that a student has to log in with the instructor in class and do that typically over Google Meet or Zoom on a regularly scheduled basis. All of that information is clear and apparent with the registration information so that a student has that at the time of registration. Brief history. Prior to the pandemic, when the pandemic started, there was about 30% online and really no virtual offerings. But emergency remote learning caused 70% of our face-to-face offerings to roll into this virtual type offering environment. And so this is still ongoing from what we experienced so that we can still have these offerings for students. This semester, about 45% of what is offered is in that online asynchronous offering, and nearly 5%, a smaller amount, is in that virtual synchronous offering. And so to the question of what do students do for technical and academic help is for technical help, it's the exact same as any course offering or any technical issue. You can reach out in the ticketing system and it'll be routed to the appropriate person and be addressed as soon as possible. As far as the academic help, there may still be some variance, and that was one of the things we sought to address as we came out of the pandemic, is that in Pima Online, there was already an established method of visibility for who a student can contact if they have any academic needs or questions. Our Director of E-Learning Quality, Dr. Tony Sovak, did begin work to make sure that sort of consistency was in our virtual offerings as well. And he did that by meeting with the academic deans, clarifying some processes, and making sure that that similar information has been present in our virtual offerings. And so I hope that helps answer the question. Thank you.
Okay, on the next topic, pedestrian safety at West Campus, addressed by Rebecca Ursule, West Campus Senator, and Dr. Conover, VP of West Campus.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I want to express my gratitude to the Pima West Campus Vice President and the staff, and also the Board of Governors, because they've been collaborating with us for their collaborative efforts in enhancing safety at the West Campus entrance by completing the bike path line painting. This initiative significantly contributes to better safety measures. So regarding your question, yes, the Student Senate can definitely collaborate on various initiatives to improve pedestrian safety at the West Campus. We can work together on organizing a petition, establishing a platform for gathering student feedback, and planning a press release to raise awareness and address concerns related to safety improvement. I am fully committed to assisting with these efforts during my term, which ends on June 30th. However, I must empathize that my commitment can only be extended until that time. Therefore, I encourage the next incoming representatives for the West Campus to continue prioritizing the importance of this issue. If you're passionate about pedestrian safety, improvement, and advocacy, I encourage you to consider applying to be a student senator. The application is currently live on Pima Engage and has been extended to Monday, April 1st at 11:59 p.m. Your voice and active involvement are crucial in fostering positive change within our community. Thank you.
Okay. Topic is downtown construction, addressed by Nina Corson, VP of Downtown Campus. Question is, what is the deal with the construction happening around the old Catholic Community Service building on the western side of campus?
Hi, thank you. Can you hear me? Yeah, all right. So at the downtown campus, the college has had the opportunity to buy up some of the properties contiguous to our campus. I think this is better for the college just in terms of safety, for us to be able to control what happens right around those facilities. It's also nice for long-term planning. It gives us a little space if we ever need to expand. It gives us a plot of land that we could put an additional building on. Now, there's no plan to expand and add an additional building now. But we took advantage of the Catholic Social Services moving out of that building and offering up the facility for sale. Catholic Social Services, if you don't know, they merged their services with El Rio. So they no longer needed the building. Well, we took a look at the building, and y'all, it's really old. It has asbestos. It had not been updated at all since they built it many years ago. And any use that the college had for that building would have taken a lot of renovation. And in fact, the renovation cost would have been more than knocking the building down and building something new. So what we are doing right now is demolishing the building. It's been under demo, and I think Aster's been watching that happen. It's been really fun to watch. If you've never seen a building torn down, it's fascinating. Just the heavy equipment they put out there. Anyway, that demolition is 3 weeks ahead of schedule right now, which is pretty amazing. In the short term, that area, that plot of land, will just be a parking lot, nothing exciting, but it does prepare the land very nicely should there ever be a need to build on that plot of land in the future. So that is what's happening. Thank you.
Topic, I promise we're almost done. Student engagement and leadership. This will be addressed by Suzanne Destraden, Vice President of Student Affairs, and Jennifer Madrid, who we also heard from earlier, who is the Dean of Students and all Student Senators. So there are two questions. The first one is actually more of a statement. It says, I would love to share with students what PCC has to offer for student leadership programs and events held throughout the year, such as Student Senate, clubs, and other opportunities.
Testing.
Hi, everyone. Can you hear me? Sorry about that. Hello again. Jennifer, taking this question for Jennifer. So what's really great that Pima onboarded during the pandemic, or the time we were all in virtual mode, is a platform called Pima Engage. And what's really wonderful about it is you do not have to be logged into your student portal, MyPima, to be able to access it. You can actually access it publicly. You could type in your smartphone right now or your computer Pima Engage, and it would let you see the system. And this is where we advertise via flyers. There's organizations, there's events, everything that's going on at the college as much as possible, so that students can see in real time how to get connected to student life, to clubs, to organizations, and to each other, right? Not just peers, but around the college and your college community. So this is how you can find out how to get connected. Student senators have their own page. So what's really awesome is the senators, and they're probably going to talk about this, so apologies if I steal your thunder, but they actually host their monthly meetings. They put the links right on Pima Engage so that students can see meeting minutes, they can see agendas, they can sign up for Zoom to attend the meetings virtually and really get engaged that way. We also have a few signature programs for leadership. So besides becoming a student senator, which by the way, we are running Senate elections for this next year. So please talk with your senators, reach out to them through Pima Engage. They also have their own web address, pcc-student senators, all one word, @pima.edu. You can also reach them that way as a group through email if you're interested in running for Senate. The three signature programs that we really like to highlight are the JADE program, which we actually have going on this Friday, at the East Campus, which coincidentally enough, our campus vice president is named Dr. Jade, right? So we are thrilled that he's there with Jade. And JADE stands for Justice Advocacy, Dialogue, and Empowerment, and it's really a social justice program. It's an all-day training. Students are a huge part of it. We bring in speakers. Mike Lopez, who's our student life coordinator for East, is in charge of it this year, and it's a wonderful way to learn about social justice and how to make a difference and how to be part of the larger fabric and community at the college. The other leadership programs, again, besides Senate and besides student clubs and organizations, are the Emerging Leaders Summit, which again is an all-day training. We bring people around from the whole college, including students, to lead workshops around a variety of topics, and our LEAD program. And our LEAD program, just like Senate, develop a student-led project for community service. So those are some exciting ways to get involved. And by the way, Pima Engage is PIMAENGAGE for those of you on live stream. With that, I'm passing it over to Senate to help answer that question.
Thank you for that. So the next question for us is probably the most important question. What is Student Senate? And this will be answered by Shea.
All right, so anyway, thank you for that question. So what is Student Senate? Student Senate functions to advocate for the common interest of students. We do this by going to PCC administration and leadership on your behalf regarding questions, comments, and concerns that you may have about your experience at PCC. Additionally, we have seats on various committees, councils, and the governing board in order to ensure the student voices are represented.
The next question is, how can I join? Becoming a student senator is an opportunity for professional development and leadership experiences. A senator term is 1 academic year, July to June, and applications and elections are open every spring semester with the exception of any vacancies that may open up during the academic year. Each campus has up to 2 representatives, which includes Desert Vista, Downtown, East, Northwest, Online, and West campus, with the exception of adult basic education, which has 1 that they appoint. Applications and elections are held through Pima Engage. The application for next year's cohort was just extended and closed on It will be closed on Monday, April 1st at 11:59 p.m. Please come and talk to any one of us if you are interested in representing your student body.
So the next topic is about student senators. This is going to be addressed by Julia Michalek. So the question is, will student senate members be compensated for their service, and if so, what is the compensation structure? That's a great question. Student senator, what opportunities will I have to establish as a student senator, what opportunities would I have to establish professional connections or network with industry professionals? And what motivations are in place to encourage students to serve as student senators and actively participate in Senate activities? Thank you.
All right, thank you. So this was submitted in the question form, and so one of the first ones, and I'll also ask for Dr. Desjardins' help as well, in case I miss anything. But as far as the compensation structure for their service, so they receive a variety of benefits when they sign on to their term, which is a one-year term. And one of them is they do receive a mentor, a faculty and staff member. We try to align them based off their personal interests, but also when I can, tie it to their career as well. And so they have an option to nominate someone. I'll reach out on their behalf. Otherwise, I will outreach to the wonderful people we have here at PCC in order to match them best. Additionally, they do get to have professional development as well. They just attended the American Student Government Association conference training in Atlanta, Georgia, paid for completely by Pima Community College in order to come back and enhance what we are doing here in Student Senate at PCC. And we're actually one of very few community colleges across the country that has a Student Senate. It seems very normal because the Maricopa is up north. They modeled theirs after ours. And so in Arizona, it's very prevalent. However, on a national level, community college, it's not as prevalent. Additionally, if they're coming here today, everyone except Shreya gets to claim mileage. So we do pay them for their time. And so they get to get mileage. So, you know, we want it to be free for them as much as possible to participate in this event and the activities that they have going on as senators. They also get the professional development with the conferences, but they also have the opportunity to attend other events as asked by their VPs, and then be able to have a seat at the table to give their perspective, the student perspective, in a variety of avenues here at the college as well. And so I want to give them, I don't know how we are on time for the next section, but I know that they had come back with some wonderful ideas for things they want to implement, having just come from a conference about 2 weeks ago. So I think Rebecca has one that she just recently reached out to me about. So perhaps she can start us off by sharing that, and then we can go from there.
I think we learned a lot from the conference that we attended in Atlanta, and one of the things that we are going to work on is our Student Senate website, because when we were at the conference, we went through that and we were like, that's one thing we can work on in order for us to reach out to so many students, because you can even see right now we have a very few students, you know. So our main goal is to make sure that we collaborate with the students, and so that in the next events that we should have so many of them, like we can engage. That's our main goal for now, but we have a lot that we're going to implement. Thank you.
I'm just going to say any other updates, anything from the conference. Okay, go ahead, Christy.
I think the big one for me, what I noticed is, because Julia does so much, right? And seeing the size and comparing them to like universities, you know, we're doing really well. And I'm very proud of our Student Senate. But I think in order to strengthen and grow this and make it into something that's maybe more effective is having a dedicated student senate coordinator, right? Because our her actual job, and in addition to all of these things that she does for us on a daily basis. So I think that would give us an opportunity to focus on the events and the outreach and the things that are needed for Student Senate to truly grow and support our students more effectively.
I think I'll go last. I think the one thing that I did take I think that the one thing that I did take away from this leadership conference was just being able to find ways to better reach out to students and actually engage with other students in my classroom. I really didn't know that that was like something, you know, that I should be doing. And then I was realizing that maybe I should, was in order to get the word out there, it's going to come from word of mouth and from another student. So I have been talking to other students in my classrooms. A lot of them, unfortunately, were, you know, busy today, but I wish they could have came, but at least most of them are attending virtually. So I appreciate y'all coming that way. But just being able to see that these other colleges have things implemented into their like structure was way different than what we have. And I feel like maybe we can implement some of those types of things that they're doing. You know, there was like a discount card that they were doing, you know, that they literally went and talked to these businesses and was like, is this something you can do? And I mean, you know, you're literally getting business from it. Conversations they had with businesses. This was one thing that I took away from it. Another thing was like their swag. A lot of these campuses and a lot of these Senate swag. So I'm hoping that even if I can't implement it now, I have until June 30th to at least go ahead and start pushing it onto leaving a little guidance book. And that was the other thing that I took away, was they literally left like a kind of like a journal about what they did as a co-chair, about what they did as the chair. And I really feel like we need to implement that this time, because a lot of us are leaving and a lot of these students will not see us again around to ask us any questions. So just little things like that. But I'm hoping that Pima Student Senate just continues to grow and be perfect in all the ways that it is, because we do work hard for hope that the students understand that, you know, we are here to support you and move on and get these campuses rolling in the way that maybe you want them structured. This is why we are here, is for you guys. So this is a big thing. Thank you for all that turned out today. Thank you for being here, everyone. And I hope to see you on better endeavors.
Thank you to all the students who submitted a question through our form on Pima Engage. The next section of the program will be our campus update. During this time, we will each have 5 minutes to share an update on what has been occurring this semester at our respective campuses, as well as an update on what we have been doing as a campus senator during our term. In preparation for this town hall, we each had a sit-down meeting with our vice presidents to discuss the campus and any projects or initiatives that are occurring at our campus. Arnold Montiel, the Adult Basic Education Senator and Senator Chair, will start us off for this section.
Full of updates for adult basic education. The ABEC Spring B session begins on March 25th and runs through June 6th. The GED graduation ceremony for ABEC is on June 6th at the Tucson Convention Center's Leo Rich Theater. In a co-curricular effort, 9 of our ABEC students toured the Desert Vista campus culinary arts program in February of this year. The ABEC Refugee Education Program distributed 135 food boxes to our refugee education students in collaboration with the PCC, ARC, and Iskashita. The Commercial Driver's License IBEST program for ESOL students starts in March in collaboration with the PCC, CDL, and Truck Driving Program. Thank you, and I'll turn it over to Cesar Peña.
I have a couple updates from Desert Vista. The upcoming student events for Desert Vista campus includes a new student orientation, academics Saturday, financial literature workshops, and parents. Yeah, parent subs. Man, I can't read. Substance and prevents workshops. And a student substance alcohol prevent workshop. There will also be financial aid nights, and I believe that's U of A and SEA Engineering. Information sessions, scholarship workshops, and spring. Oh, I lost where I was at. College tour for UTEP, NMSU, and WNMU. Lastly, for student events, there will be an advancement of Latinx in engineering event and a volunteer event called Market on the Move. Finally, some children care access means parents in school see campus updates. The DV Early Learning Center, which serves students preschool, children's ages 3 to 5. Can't say that word. And anticipates being completed full to capacity in April, with all 20 slots taken. Students' interest in having their children in the preschool starting next fall needed to register for C Campus now and get on the waiting list to fill slots of students graduating or children moving on to kindergarten. Yeah, I'm good.
Alrighty, on to downtown campus. We've had a lot going on downtown campus, so Christy and I will try to stay brief. First of all, I was approached by the Pima Pride Alliance Club. They're being revitalized, which is very exciting. They're looking for a treasurer. Anyone who knows how to budget, come on down. The Immigrant and Refugee Student Resource Center continues to host our weekly poetry events every Wednesday, downtown campus from 2 to 4, ST207. Hope to see you there. And we are also working on a private space for prayer and meditation, a dedicated room on every campus, well, every physical campus. Online, you're on your own. And as well, Ramadan Mubajak for all practitioners of Islam. And I will end mine by saying that I was recently invited to be on the complaint task force. And I recently finished up with a work group on the future uses of the Drockman properties, these kind of historic motels adjacent to the downtown campus. So a lot going on. I'll pass it over to Christy.
Thank you, Aster. So some other big news is the Biology Learning Center will be converted to a traditional learning space this summer. The changes are being made to revise the current self-paced modality to increase passing rates and support the needs of students. The newly structured courses are expected to be reflected in the upcoming fall schedule of classes. The new marquee is expected to be functional here soon within the next 2 weeks. So if you are on the corner of Speedway and Stone, make sure you check it out. Downtown Campus Market on the Move project continues on the second Thursday of the month. It will conclude on May 9th, but it is expected to resume in the fall. We've got the Center of Excellence, another big deal. So our applied technology currently consists of 4 areas. We've got advanced manufacturing, automotive, and aviation. The final construction to complete this vision will begin this summer and will expand on building and construction technologies. So this expansion is expected to increase student capacity and elevate learning for students with an interest in professions such as commercial refrigeration, HVAC, electrical, plumbing, framing, roofing, masonry, and cabinet making. And then the Amethyst Room, unfortunately, will be closed for 3 weeks in April. It is getting some remodeling done, so we've got some new technology upgrades that will be added to increase the sound and AV systems. So we're excited. These improvements will enhance the streaming services that offer inclusivity to remote learners and staff, and will improve the quality of future events held in that space. Sorry, I can't skip this one. We want to welcome our new student life coordinator, Connor McNitt, to our downtown campus. In addition to his previous teaching and event programming knowledge, he has brought a positive attitude and creativity to the department. We appreciate his enthusiasm and look forward to working with him in future events. Thank you, Connor.
Thank you. So, regarding the East Campus, so we at the East Campus are excited to announce the return of our annual Star Wars celebration happening on Thursday, May 2nd from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. I think that's going to be very exciting. You guys should definitely come. Additionally, I'm excited and continuously collaborating with administrators on the Transportation Committee to enhance our campus services on the East Campus. We also have Wind Raven, a local shaman. He will be talking about the traditions and spiritual culture of Arizona, specifically those in the Arizona-Sonora area. So he will be showing us the importance of these traditions in community life, celebrating differences among people, and caring for the environment. This is going to be on the East Campus from March 26th at 11 a.m. and it's going to be up until 12:45 p.m. in room E1101. And then I think our VP also spoke about the Jade Retreat, which will be happening on March 28th on the East Campus. The spaces are limited, so we expect people to sign up before March 28th, and there's going to be lunch as well. We also have a graduation court waiting for those who attend the ceremony. Thank you.
Just making sure. All right, so as for the updates for the Northwest Campus, I am the newly appointed Student Senate for Northwest Campus, and I have made it my priority to engage with students and listen to their comments and concerns. Most of them have been addressed through the questionnaire, so I will try to keep it as short as possible. And I know that Dr. Stewart has already talked about the breakfast and morning coffee, so just to kind of recap on that, we are working on implementing coffee machines and variety of vending machines, hopefully by fall of 2024, and we're just awaiting on the completion of survey, which is conducted by the Public Health Department to ensure that these accommodations align with necessary health standards. And next, regarding safety, there are no major updates on recent reports at Northwest Campus, and the staff has thoroughly reviewed protocols, and local law enforcement have conducted sessions on Stop the Bleed training and drinking and driving awareness. And in the upcoming month of April, our current student life coordinator, Julia McCulloch, will be on leave. So during her absence, we will have like a rotation of student life coordinators and continue support for students in the student life department. We will make sure that this senior staff will be kind of looking over that. And additionally, April is the month of sustainability. So Northwest Campus will have activities on sustainability, and students are encouraged to contribute ideas to enhance sustainable initiatives, so kind of such as like the recycling program, through campus activities and sharing suggestions. And also, our campus offers valuable resources for students, including study spaces in the library. And to kind of go back into the what Aster said, we do offer meditation and prayer room for spiritual and mental awareness in Student Lounge, which is located in Building C. So it's like the second floor. And lastly, Northwest Campus is excited to announce a partnership with the YMCA for their summer program for children. So adding vibrancy and community engagement. So please welcome our young visitors and stay aware of increased activity on campus. Thank you.
Okay, for online campus, online learning continues to be the largest campus, with the spring semester being close to 50%. Summer enrollment, that number tends to go up. However, the total is lower than as the percentage grows. The priority survey of online learners has launched as of yesterday. It has Jessica's name on there, and there's a brief video from our VP, Michael. It's going to be distributed to ensure that all of you are aware it is not a scam. Once again, it is not a scam. Okay, I'm just getting that out there for our chief of police. It is not a scam, I repeat. The survey has the possibility of winning a laptop, and it will be used to learn how students feel about their online experiences. The ongoing issue relating to our students. Shell has been has become more minimal, but there may be an uptick with the start of the second 8-week program starting. So if you're having issues, just know it is being taken care of. Because Pima Online continues to work to spread awareness that faculty and staff, and so do the students who report an issue. So if you have an issue, please report it with a ticket. IT has been working tirelessly during the spring break to attempt to mend the issue. Finally, as this being my last year, I will be going to Washington, D.C. as an advocate for all of PCC with the National Skills Coalition. I have been hiding this and keeping it a secret all year. So I will be going out in May, and I will be representing the fullest. So thank you.
So this year as well, Pima has been honored to gain the Title V grant, which is given Pima in order to support it as a Hispanic serving institution, giving Pima $3 million over the next 5 years to assist with online learning. In this, we have increased our amount of online success coaches, moving the number from 2 to 3. The grant also allowed for a small feedback survey, which was mentioned regarding to the information on online learning and Pima's public website, showing the information and asking if it's adequate or if there's more information that needs to be added. It is a goal of the grant to bring more awareness to this information and to make sure it is presented well. Starting in summer, there will be a new look to the D2L course page. I've had the chance to look at it myself. It is very nice. The nav bar will shift a little.
For the West Campus, firstly, the bike line painting project aimed at improving safety has been completed successfully. This initiative is crucial for ensuring the safety of students and staff who use bicycles on campus. Additionally, new boiler and cooling systems have been installed, providing a more comfortable temperature environment for everyone on the West Campus. Construction work is also underway for the F, J, and H buildings. The F buildings is expected to be available for classes starting this fall, while the J and H buildings are projected to be ready by spring 2025. These developments will contribute to enhancing the overall learning and working environment at West Campus. As a student senate and a student representative on the governing board, I have been actively advocating for student issues and concerns. I am pleased to share that The college leadership has been receptive to our feedback. One significant achievement is the completion of the bike pathline painting project, which is visible evidence for our efforts to prioritize safety on campus. And I am also part of the Sanchala Search committee, and I'm representing the students. The Student Senate will continue its advocacy efforts and work on initiatives aimed at improving the overall student experience. I encourage students to bring in their questions, concerns, happy moments, or great feedbacks about different aspects of the campus. Your support and engagement in these endeavors are greatly appreciated. Thank you.
Well, thank you for that update. All right, so I would also like to thank all of our campus vice presidents for making time for us in order to prepare for this event and ensure that students' needs and concerns are a top priority. So let's give a round of applause for them. All right, so before we go into our next section, I wanted to give time for one last update. Each Student Senate cohort is responsible for completing a Senate project, and Marquise Vaughn, our project lead, will share an update with us.
Hello. Can you hear me? All right, cool. All right. Yeah, I am responsible. I'm the project lead anyway for this year's Student Senate project. And thank you for that introduction, Shreya. As previously mentioned, each Senate is responsible for completing a project. This project can range from a gift to campuses prepared by Senate to creating a project or ongoing event series to address critical issues. I'm excited to announce that I had a meeting with the president of the foundation, Marcy Mueller. We were joined by our wonderful advisor, Julia and Valerie. During our meeting, we discussed the details of the scholarship. We came to the conclusion that our goal for the scholarship would be $500. Also, the foundation has been gracious enough to contribute the remaining funds to help reach that goal. But I believe through dedication and communication, we will surpass that goal by 10 times over. I have recently been in contact with Fearless Construction. The owner of Fearless Construction, Jose, is excited to contribute to the cause and hopes to help a student at PCC with tuition. Before we end to Before we end today's events, we have 15 minutes available to the floor, again, for audience questions or comments.
Well, if there are no additional questions, we can move on to the end of today's event. Thank you for all of your comments and questions.
Okay, well, we are now at the end of today's event. Thank you again to everyone who's able to join us, both virtually and in person, here at the Northwest Campus. We greatly appreciate the support we've received from faculty, staff, and administrators at PCC with regards to today's event, the Spring Town Hall. In addition, thank you to our fellow students who took the time to submit questions, to join us virtually, or to also come to the Northwest Campus as well. Student Senate represents the interests of PCC students, and don't forget that you have the ability to make your voice heard at the beginning of each regular meeting, and actually, in fact, you're welcome to attend any Student Senate meeting. All are open to students, faculty members, whoever would like to join us, really. Our meetings are held virtually on Friday. Well, this semester, they are held virtually on Fridays from 10 to 11:30-ish. Each semester it'll change. As Suzanne Destradan said earlier, you can find the current times on our Pima Engage page, where you can also access meeting minutes, upcoming events, And what else we got going on? We got a news page. We got some other cool things going on. Yes, but when in doubt, in any capacity of Student Senate, please go to your local Student Life Center, at least at a physical campus. I'm not sure how online would get there. They're okay. They're here at Northwest. Yes, okay. One last thing, one very, very last thing. The application period for the next Student Senate cohort, 2024 to 2025, originally it was going to be closed today. However, we are open for about another week. We are closing on April 1st, and that's no joke. Student Senate is only as strong as the courage of the students who do keep it running.
With that last update, the Student Senate 2024 Spring Town Hall has concluded. This event has been recorded and will be accessible via Pima Engage page and also through our YouTube page, as you guys can all see. So thank you, and we have lunch. We have a lot of stuff to eat at the back. Thank you.